Hey folks, it's Senator Doug Jones here. This process looks a little bit different this year for obvious reasons, and that my staff would normally be meeting with you all in person. But I still appreciate you taking the time to virtually learn more about the process and preparing your application. As U.S. Senator, I have the honor of nominating young adults like yourself to one of our nation's 5 military academies. The prestigious military academies are a rare privilege reserved for our best and brightest Americans, which is why I commend you for not only seeking out opportunities in higher education, but aspiring to learn and lead at an academy and then, upon graduation, lead and serve our country. The passion and desire at a young age to make an impact on our nation is really inspiring. And it is young folks like you that give me hope we are in great hands and that your generation will ensure the United States continues to be the greatest country on the earth. This past year, my staff and I were excited to announce that 23 students that I nominated received appointments to one of the military academies. And I look forward to doing that again next year. So again, thank you so much for your interest in attending a military academy. I'm excited to get to know you throughout this process. Regardless, I know each and every one of you have an extremely bright future ahead. Good luck to all of you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to U.S. Senator Doug Jones's Service Academy Nomination Informational Session. My name is Chandela McMillan, and I am the caseworker and Service Academy Nominations Coordinator for Senator Jones. We also have June Reeves-Ware, a caseworker and Service Academy Nominations Coordinator for Senator Jones's office, and Ms. Nicole Jones, a West Point grad, in attendance with us as well. This event is an opportunity to encourage students to apply for an Academy nomination. We hope by the end of this event, you will have a wealth of knowledge on our nomination process. Now, I will discuss Senator Jones's selection process. Applications for Service Academy nominations will be reviewed by Senator Jones's nonpartisan Service Academy Nomination Committee, which is comprised primarily of active and retired military officers, many of whom are Academy grads. Due to the large number of applicants and the limited amount of available positions offered each year, the office reviewed each application carefully to determine which applicant would have the highest chance of success at one of our nation's prestigious service academies. If your application for nomination shows the attributes that successful Academy cadets exhibit, the office will contact you to arrange an interview. The committee will interview the candidates who have met the application requirements and then recommend 10 candidates for each academy based on a review of all applications and interviews. Senator Jones uses the competitive method of nomination whereby each candidate who receives a nomination is on an equal playing field with no rankings or preference. The Academy evaluates the candidate and offers an appointment to those they determine to be best suited to the institution. Each Academy may offer one or more students nominated by Senator Jones an appointment. Please be certain that all contact information you provide is accurate and legible. Make sure you check frequently for messages or correspondence from the Senator's office. Most information regarding deadlines, interviews, and requirements will be sent by email. You are responsible for checking your email regularly, including junk mail and spam filters, to ensure you are receiving all messages from the office. It is not the responsibility of the office to ensure you have received email communication. Please respond to all communications within the deadline specified. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the Birmingham office at 205-731-1500, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Note, application material may be submitted all at one time, which is preferred, or separately. However, every required component must be received in our office no later than 5 p.m. Central Time on Thursday, October the 1st, 2020. Postmarked applications received after that date will not be accepted. Due to the high volume of applications received, it is the responsibility of the applicant to confirm all materials have been sent and received on time. The Senator's office will attempt to make the applicant aware of missing information, but it is ultimately not our responsibility to ensure materials are received by the deadline. Missing information will disqualify an applicant for consideration. There will be no extensions to the deadline. Thank you. Now we will hear from Ms. June Reeves-Ware, who will present more information on the application process.
We're going to go through the actual online Academy application. And I'm going into this with great detail. Hopefully it'll cover all the questions that you have as you start this process. One of Senator Jones' duties as an elected official is to nominate outstanding and honorable Alabama students for consideration to one of 4 military academies. Now you notice that I said 4. This does not include the U.S. Coast Guard Academy since they don't require a nomination. To be accepted into one of the academies, please remember that you must apply to that academy's admission office along with your application for a nomination from Senator Jones. Each process is to be completed separately but concurrently. To receive a nomination from Senator Jones, you must be between 17 and 22 years of age as of July 1st of the year of admission to a service academy. You must be a U.S. citizen, a resident of Alabama, unmarried, not pregnant, no legal obligation to support any dependents, good academic standing at your high school, and you must be able to meet the moral, academic, and medical standards set by the Academy. It's important to note that a nomination from Senator Jones is not a guarantee of admission to an academy. Each Academy Board reviews the applications and they will make a decision on who will receive an appointment to their academy. Senator Jones uses the competitive model for nominations. This means that all nominations are issued on a level playing field. There's neither a ranking or a preference attached to any nomination. A successful nomination consists of 2 important parts: the application and the interview with Senator Jones' Service Academy nominations panel. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the nomination application. As I mentioned, there are 8 important sections. The first is identification and your personal information. Next, you will write a personal mission statement. You'll have a resume that you upload, your official high school transcript, an educator letter of recommendation, and a general letter of recommendation. Please include your ACT or SAT scores, and we will require a current class photo in a JPEG file. Now, all of this package has to be completed no later than 5 p.m. Central Time on Thursday, October 1st, 2020. There will not be paper applications accepted this year. The Academy requires you to provide information on your extracurricular activities, achievements, and interests. Additionally, you must provide your Academy scores, your ACT and SAT scores, and you can upload this to your application. We prefer that you use a good, clean copy, or you may choose to have this sent directly from your testing service. If your high school transcript includes your SAT or ACT scores on that, we will accept that as well. If you want to have the scores sent directly to our office when you take the test, or you can request that they be sent after you've taken your test, please use these codes. The SAT code is 1795 and the ACT code is 7101. We do consider super scores, so we'll look at the best score in each category from your test. Now, contact your school's guidance counselor to request a copy of your official transcript. You will need to have their email address so that you can send them a link directly from your application. Even if your school does not use a 0 to 4.0 GPA scale, you must submit every course taken and grade received throughout your high school career, along with your current class schedule. You must submit the official transcript from your high school. So have that linked, have that email address ready so you can send the link directly to your counselor. If they choose, they can send a printed copy, signed and sealed and mailed to our address at the Birmingham office, the Vance Federal Building, 1800 Fifth Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama, 35203. Your personal mission statement should be no more than 500 words. And I want you to think of this as someone has asked you this question: why do you wish to attend this academy? This is an opportunity for you to use your voice and show your ability to effectively communicate your desire to attend an academy and be an officer in the U.S. Armed Forces. When explaining why you want to pursue a career in the military, you should include any attributes that make you especially suited for the job and any specific career goals. You should also include any past experiences that would influence your success in a military academy or that are related to a potential military career. And remember, please stay within the 500-word limit. The 2 letters of recommendation that are required. One will come from an educator, one of your high school educators, or perhaps a college educator. Your second letter will come from a general source, a second person such as an employer, counselor, religious leader, or other professional connection. Provide a link to upload to your application, or they may choose to send their letter directly to our office in Birmingham. Just as in any other university application, whomever you ask to provide a letter of recommendation should be someone who is not a family member, that can speak to your personal qualities, and that has some experience with measuring your performance in some way. Choose people who can cite specific instances where you display character and personality of someone fit for military service. A letter is on our website that you might choose to send to the person you're asking to provide this recommendation for you. It's helpful. It gives some hints to that person writing the letter of what we are looking for. Please submit a recent photograph of yourself. A school book year-style photograph is preferred, and official senior photographs are even preferred more. This picture will be used in the media announcement should you earn a nomination. Please save that file as a JPEG using your last name, then your first name, and then .jpeg. A word of advice: do not submit any profile pictures or pictures with you in them from any type of social media. If you have to ask yourself if it's inappropriate, it is inappropriate. Not only is this unprofessional, but it shows that you're unable to follow express directions, which are a key part of any future military service career. I want to give you this great example of what your photograph could look like. And doesn't that smile look wonderful? Let's talk about the interview process now. As part of your nomination, you are required to attend an interview with a member of the Senator's interview panel. This might be online this year. The interview will last approximately 15 minutes. We will work to schedule all applicants as best we can. We will not work around your social activities or family vacations. It's important to dress appropriately for your interview. Even if you're online, you should be prepared in a professional manner. Refrain from wearing jeans, ripped or tight-fitting clothing, and strive to be dressed in a professional manner. Essentially, this interview is a way to make yourself stand out. We will receive your application and review your qualifications, but this does not give us a true feel for who you are. So when you come to the interview, be prepared with examples of your leadership experience, your volunteerism, your community involvement. Those are important in giving us an idea of how you really are. We are talking about then looking at your nomination as the quality of the whole application. The whole person will be considered, your community involvement, moral character, and leadership qualities. If a nomination is not given, we encourage you to reapply the following year, as academies will allow for university transfers. And as a matter of fact, 30% of the students in military service academies have at least 1 year of college under their belts when they enter their academy. Now, we've got several points of contact for you here. I want to provide this information for you so that if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. Most of your information will be conveyed through the Senator's website and his offices in Birmingham and Huntsville. I'm June Reeves-Weir, and this is my email address, june_Reeves-Weir@jones.senate.gov. My phone number is 205-895-4186. This is my cell phone number. Please do not share that with anyone. This is for your use only. And Shan McMillan, who is in our Huntsville office, her email address is shan_McMillan@jones.senate.gov. And again, this is Shan's cell phone number, 256-580-0979, for your use only. We also have an email account that is academy_nominations@jones.senate.gov. We monitor this account closely. We live by email. That is by far the best way to contact us. Or you can reach out to our Birmingham office at 205-731-1500 or our Huntsville office as well.
Next, Ms. Nicole Jones, Deputy G2 with the U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command, will talk about her experience as a cadet at West Point Military Academy. Welcome, Ms. Nicole Jones.
Thank you, Shan. Good morning. I'm glad to be here this morning, and I would like to just share a little bit of one perspective that you might hear about the United States Military Academy and life in the Army after the Academy. You'll hear many perspectives as you pursue an appointment to one of the academies, so mine's just one. I'm also an 06 Colonel in the Army Reserve, and I serve as the Director for a Joint Intelligence Reserve Support Element for the Defense Intelligence Agency. So all of those titles and everything, needless to say, I graduated West Point as a military intelligence officer, and now I do it for both my civilian career and my Army career because it's such a fantastic career path. My perspective absolutely includes being a woman at West Point and in the Army. Every cadet and every officer that I've met wants to be the best regardless of their gender or their race. Nobody wants to be called a great female leader. You want to be called a great leader. So while we do have views that get shaped by our gender and who we are and our backgrounds, we really just want to be the best type leaders and serve the nation. So a couple of things, just starting, when I think about my time at West Point and in the Army, I truly believe one of the words that describes it is opportunity. Going to a service academy provides an amazing academic opportunity. There are small classes. You get one-on-one time with your instructors, and you get to study and even sometimes travel abroad or throughout the United States to go actually learn about the things that you are studying in the classroom. The amazing opportunities that you get at a service academy really follow your whole life. I would never have been able to go and be a part of a Judge Advocate General's Corps as a civilian. I wouldn't have had that opportunity until you're after law school and until you're through all of your education. In the Army as well, when I went in to the Army in 1996, I had already had so many opportunities because of being a cadet at the Service Academy. I had already gotten to jump out of airplanes. I had already gotten to go overseas to Korea to be part of a unit, and I'd gotten to see a little bit more of the world than I probably would have had at a different university or college. Another thing that really I would sum up for West Point and for the Army is leadership. At West Point, as a cadet, you are able to take on leadership roles of your peers and within the entire Corps of Cadets. So every cadet does have an opportunity throughout their career to lead others and to really, truly get a taste of what it's going to be like in the Army. In the Army, as a second lieutenant, when you graduate, you're automatically in charge of other people. Being in the Army is all about people. It is definitely a people business. So when you start your leadership training and your classes and you have that experience when you graduate, you get to put it to use immediately. As a platoon leader, I was able to lead a small group of radar operators in places like Bosnia-Herzegovina, in Kosovo, in Germany, and we were able to conduct our missions. And because of the leadership experience that I had from the academy, I was really able to put it to use right out of the gate. Another thing that really sums up the academy for me is service. I think that now in high school, we had done service for others. I had gone and done build orphanages and through Fellowship of Christian Athletes and other groups. We had really tried to do some service for the community, but I'm not sure I really understood what that meant until I went to the military academy and even until I got into the Army. The academies truly try to instill a lifetime of service to the nation. And people serve in many ways. They serve in the government, they serve in their communities and their churches, and they do serve in uniform. So as a cadet, you could learn that you're there to serve the nation. You are one of a very important piece of leading men and women, sometimes in combat, sometimes in peacekeeping operations, sometimes in civil service scenarios, like we might have seen through the National Guard lately with current events going on. But in the Army, you're out there, you're representing something big. You're representing of course, the Army, but also the United States with our uniform everywhere you wear it. And so instilling that service to the nation is a very big deal. Some of the daily life for West Point Cadet, and it's very different than if you were going to go to another university or college. We do get up early. We start the day early. We start with reading current events. We start by everyone being up and having formation in the morning. It is a full day. You have academics during the school year that are very challenging. You also have athletic events. Every cadet is pretty much an athlete. But you'll be able to find a sport that you can do there. You don't have to be a varsity athlete to be an athlete at one of the academies. But it is important. The physical aspect of the academies is very important. They teach you, they train you, they give you opportunity. They give you opportunity to fail at certain physical different aspects and to overcome your fears. And an example of that would be, walking over a beam across the rivers in New York actually is a very fun but challenging thing, especially for somebody who might not like heights like me. And so they challenge you in everything that you do, physically, academically, and in your leadership roles. So all three of those go to make a whole personal, overall cadet picture. This year was a pretty big year. Speaking as a female graduate, it was a big year. The first class of females graduated in 1980, so this was the 40th anniversary of females graduating from the service academies. And so that really left a legacy for us. 62 women graduated with that first class of the academies. And the first female graduate was Andrea Holland, and she graduated number 10 in her class. So women have done well at the academy, starting with the very first class. In 2018, despite women making up just under 20% of the 2018 West Point class, 8 of the top 10 graduates were women, and women made up 44% of honor roll students. So when you study hard in high school, when you go after the tough classes like I know you are, and when you work hard, you will do well at the United States Military Academy. As far as sports, also, they're making great strides at West Point. I was a member of the women's lacrosse team, and I got my camaraderie and my community from that team of women. We were a club sport and when I was at the academy, 92 to 96. But in 2016, the women's lacrosse team moved up to be a Division I team. So all of these things are making things better for women at West Point and even in the Army. As just recently over the past several years, we've seen every branch of the Army open to women, and we've seen our first graduates from the Ranger School as women. Last year was a banner year at West Point for women. The class of 2019 graduated its 5,000th woman, and also it was the most diverse class ever to get their diplomas. 34 Black women graduated altogether, and 223 women graduated in total. So I think that was a far cry from my graduating class, which had about 75 female graduates out of just under 1,000 total. Just to highlight time in the Army, I graduated as a military intelligence officer, and like I said, I now have that as my civilian and military career. It's a fantastic branch. We get to do all kinds of things, but all of the branches have opportunity. Being a member in the Army and being a West Point graduate, you automatically have a big network of people to reach to who help you and who you can call on to give you advice or to bounce ideas off of. So I think that that network and that camaraderie and friendships that you build at the Academy will follow you through your entire Army career. Right now, one of my classmates I see every time I go to DC, she's up in that area as an academic professor. We have group lunches here at Redstone Arsenal in Alabama, where I live, and we really do have a network that follows you your whole career, and it's a great net to rely on when you need help or assistance from across the community. As role models also, I would go back to some of the accomplishments of women graduates at West Point. So for example, Major General Nadja West was class of 1982. She's the highest ranking woman to have graduated from USMA, and she was the first Black Army Surgeon General, the first Black female active duty Major General, and also the first Black female Major General in Army medicine. So she is a great role model for many, many cadets and somebody who actually does go back and mentor cadets. Also, Major General Diana Holland was class of 1990, and she was the first female commandant of cadets at West Point. She is an active component general officer from the Army's engineer branch. And then recently we've had Lieutenant Colonel Ann McLean, who is a West Point graduate, as a NASA astronaut. So you may have seen her in the International Space Station, but she was a helicopter pilot in the Army branching aviation and became a NASA astronaut. So just to highlight a few of those recent accomplishments as we go forward, I would never trade my West Point experience for anything else. If I had to do it again today, I'd certainly have to get into shape. They are very physical today, and I'm not there where I used to be in my 20s, but I wouldn't trade my experience for anything. I learned a lot there at West Point. Again, the opportunity was out of this world. You just wouldn't get the same opportunities anywhere else. The leadership that you were able to exhibit and walk into the Army with the leadership that you have carries throughout your entire career and into your civilian career as well, if you have one. And of course, the aspect of service. You learn about service to the nation, and you get to be a servant to the nation and to the Army and to your unit and to your soldiers. And that truly is kind of the things that sum up West Point to me: the opportunity, the leadership aspect, and service to the nation. I get asked two questions a lot, and one of them is, do you have to know somebody to get into the military academy? And I always say, no, you absolutely do not. If you have talked to people who went there or who were in the Army, you will have a better idea of what it would be like for you. But you don't have to know somebody who is, of importance in the process, or, you don't have to know the senator. You don't have to know anybody. You just need to do the right things to get you into the academy. And the second thing I always get asked is, well, was your family military? Did you grow up around the military? And I always say, no, I'm not from a military family. I'm not from a family of boys and brothers. I grew up as one of 4 girls. We did not play Army in the backyard. We did not camp. I had never touched a gun. You don't have to have all that background to be a good leader and to be a success at West Point or in the Army. You have to have that internal desire to be a servant leader, to be in the Army, to be an officer, and that's what you need. You don't need any of that background.
This concludes the information about the application process. We encourage you to contact us if you have any questions. The email addresses are the best way to reach us because we live by email. We will be happy to get back with you and clear up any questions. We want to make sure that you have an opportunity to be a successful candidate for a nomination from the Senator's office. Back to you, Shan.
Thanks, June. Now we will discuss who should you submit applications to for an Academy nomination. We highly encourage you to apply for all the nominations for which you are eligible. Each candidate is eligible for up to 4 congressional nominations. Applicants can be nominated by both U.S. senators in the state of their legal residence, the U.S. representative from their residential district, and the president. If you qualify for a presidential nomination, we strongly encourage you to apply for it. And to be eligible to apply for a presidential nomination, you must meet the following criteria. A parent must be an active duty member and have served continuously on active duty for at least 8 years. A parent must be retired with pay or have been granted retired or retainer pay. Next, a parent must be a reservist or National Guard member. And finally, a parent must have died after being retired with pay or being granted retired or retainer pay. So should you have any questions regarding this, please contact us at academy_nominations@jones.senate.gov or contact June Reeves Ware at 205-895-4186 or myself, Chandela McMillan, at 256-580-0979. This concludes my portion. Now I will turn it over to June Reeves Ware.
Thanks, Shan. Just want to emphasize how important it is that you submit applications for nominations to the other congressionals. We do compare our nominations with those congressional offices. Our goal is to try and get as many Alabama students before the boards of these academies so that you all have opportunities to be considered for appointments at those academies. Again, it's important that you get your information in a timely fashion. If you have any problems with uploading your information, or if the person that you're asking to upload, they can contact us as well. We will walk them through the steps. Again, timeliness is everything. So if you have any questions, reach out to us. The deadline again is Thursday, October 1st, 2020 of this year. Interviews will be held early in November, and you will receive information if you're to come for an interview. Thanks so much again. I'm wishing you the best of luck and hope that you have a successful career ahead of you.